When I taught Cillian Murphy, um, the first song I taught him was Blowing in the Wind. Second song was Knocking on Heaven's Door. Third song was a Leonard Cohen song. And the fourth song was One More Cup of Coffee. How many times have I taught One More Cup of Coffee? The kind of perpetual tune that people would ask for. Thing is, with One More Cup of Coffee, that's where you introduced your bar chords. You could kind of introduce that concept and open it out. And when I was myself in second year, between October and November, I was kind of obsessed with Bob Dylan. I managed to get my hands on Blonde of Blonde, Blood on the Tracks, Basement Tapes, and Infidels. And I actually thought that Infidels was quite a successful kind of fusion project, like where he kind of working with Sly and Robbie and bringing in Mick Taylor and stuff. I thought that was quite successful, and I quite liked it. I also, in that kind of epoch, shall we say, I kind of really liked. I used to kind of, if I was invited to a party, tennis club or something or whatever, I'd play Woody Guthrie, believe it or not. This was a bit of an old chestnut that I would kind of, okay, Mark, give us something, I'd give him that. Because Dylan, this is pre-Oasis, Dylan was very, very popular and everybody knew his songs. Inexorably, if people were coming for lessons, you'd start with Dylan. Blown in the Wind, there's no real kind of political connotations or anything like that. It's just that the there's kind of a minimal amount of chords, quite an easy strumming pattern, and easy kind of to put together and easy to sing to. So to kind of coordinate singing and playing. To start off, Blowing in the Wind is the song, and also Knocking on Heaven's Door. And again, when I went to Chicago to perform and record with John Herndon from Tortoise, I stayed initially with a guy called Paul. Really, really nice guy, good friend. And the first thing Paul said to me was, "Hi, my name is Paul." And I said, "Hi, my name is Mark. Mark, I'm actually watching Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid. Okay with that?" "Paul, no problem. Love it." So, so many people just absolutely obsessed with Bob Dylan. And people from disparate walks of the arts. People, reading into his lyrics and extrapolating meanings and hidden meanings and all this kind of stuff. But also people like Trevor Horn, one of the greatest producers in history, actually. And early on, he went through a period, as he alludes to himself, of being a Bob Dylan impersonator. And apparently he was really, really good. But he would play at little concerts with his guitar and harmonica and give fantastic renditions of Dylan. And back in the day, cover bands and stuff like that, because again, as I said, pre-Oasis, and so many people would play Dylan songs. I mean, I knew a couple of bands, basically they had a few of their own songs and the rest were Bob Dylan numbers, especially from albums that people might kind of not really think about, like Isis. People were really One More Cup of Coffee came from that, and that fabulous little ditty Isis itself came from that album. And lots of bands, lots of guys, would kind of play renditions from that. Fantastic. And Dylan has himself stood the test of time. Marches on. And a very intriguing fact, I mentioned this before actually, that one of my students that was going to be starring with Marlon Brando. During the audition, in that juncture where they say, anything you'd like to say about yourself, anything that you'd like to add, managed to get their hands on a guitar and played, I think, 7.5 bars of the intro to Don't Think Twice, It's All Right, and were stopped and said, you're in, you got the role. So, yeah, thank you very much for listening.